Need to make a Twitter profile. Anyways, Weibo are going to be on the blue side, and Dplus KIA will be on that red side. We do see the Azir ban, the Alistar ban, the Ryze ban from Weibo. We also see the Qiyana Poppy ban so far from DK.
Qiyana, very reasonable playing up against Tian. He has been our best Qiyana player here in the LPL. And the Poppy is good. He has been able to take this, Crisp has been able to take this champion, and especially them working alongside Tian, just that flexibility that you get with this champion. Lennon, as we go throughout, what are we expecting here for Weibo? Obviously, we've seen a large focus go into mid lane pools.
Yeah, I do wonder if they want to try to give some of that mobility to Xiaohu. I mean, I think we all know Xiaohu is an expert at side laning and trying to find advantages there to bring into fights. I don't think we've necessarily seen that version of Xiaohu, but with the Nocturne making it through, and that's been a consistent ban for some teams here in this tournament, the Orianna gets locked in, and now you have a question. Do you just take the Nocturne from Dplus KIA, which we've seen before in this tournament, or do you give over that combo to Weibo?
Gotta be careful. Still things like Wukong. We saw that Lucid pulled out the Lee Sin in one of their first games in the tournament. And always have to be super, super cautious around playing around Lucid, because he put on a barn burner of a performance in their first series.
DK picked LeBlanc first pick in their first game of the tournament. They'll do so in the second series for the first game as well. That'll be a pick for ShowMaker. See what they want to combo with it. And I think that DK have found a recipe for success that they don't really want to change.
Wow, big burst damage going into the Orianna. Going to be pretty tough here. So what are Weibo going to be looking for as a response? Still have Xin Zhao if they really need it. Maybe we see a lock towards the 80 carry pools.
I could see that. Just trying to set up their absolute carries in the first phase and try to whittle out how to the in-between in the second phase. They do go for the Kai'Sa. So it's a good classic for LPL, as well as the Nico. Hopefully we get a little bit better of a performance of the Nico than earlier today. But the final pick of the phase will be for DK.
That was a good VOD to be showing in the background. That's LCK VODs. They were allowed to show those ones. DK,
there were VODs, I got to say, of in the backpack of the LPL. But it's fine. It's in between games. It's before the game even starts, so it's fine.
Or if we were going to pause, but we'll talk about that later. So DK, they're going to get... I thought it was going to be Mbessa. I'm sure that's just a visual bug going on. One of Siwoo's best champions, I think, all year, especially over in the LCK. He was by and far away, I think, the best Mbessa that the league had, being rivaled by players like Dora and the like. So good to see that they are kind of relying on the strengths of their players going forward. Now, Lennon, back in the draft. No jungler chosen here for Weibo. No 80 carry or bot lane duo. What are you expecting coming into this?
I think we're gonna see we already see the Wukong ban, but maybe we end up seeing like a Sion ban come through in the top side map for DK if they want to get rid of that against the Mbessa. I know we talked about it last series that it's okay as time goes on for the Mbessa, but I just hate seeing the Sion. We'll see if they want to combat that with like a little bit more contested top lane, as the Renekton is the final ban, but I'm sure it's gonna be a continued bot lane focus for Weibo at least.
So Corki, what else? What will I think Jhin is a good fill here for DK.
Ooh, the Lucian.
They're getting rid of the Lucian because I don't know, but like honestly, if you're a DK, who are you giving counter pick to? I think it's fine to do it for 80 carry here, just because BeryL has been a player that has been a little bit more explorative.
Let him cook. I don't know. I think it would be nice to give it to actual carry performer in some way, shape, or form, but that would just be going to aiming himself. We'll see. As coach doing some micro movements, keep the blood flowing. As I do wonder if it's going to be something to really combat Kai'Sa, or if it's going to just go for like a general kind of hyper carry for them. They will save that for the last pick, because the Lulu is what comes through for DK.
All right, so Lulu plus what is going to be the composition here? Yunara is one angle that they could go for. I think Xayah has some merit here in this game versus Weibo, although pretty tough to walk into an Orianna Shockwave. So we'll see how Weibo are going to have to get themselves set up here. I think when you look at this draft, they have a lot of tools to be able to start fights, and as long as they are first to an objective, they have a lot of playmaking.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Breathe. Don't do it to us. Oh, man, the Rek'Sai gets locked in top. I have not been a big fan of this pick, although we have seen it pop off in some occasions. Tian, more importantly, is going to be on the Vi, so really setting up the team and being able to have that early skirmish power that we know Tian loves.
Okay, so what else are we... I mean, you're into the Mbessa. This was like a weird counter matchup that appeared but didn't ever really take off with some of the changes that Rek'Sai received. We look at these compositions right now. What do we think of what DK had? Because we talked a little bit about what Weibo are going to be able to do, but I feel like both of these teams kind of want to scrap very early on and want to kind of get down in the mud.
But honestly, I mean, that's what led out to a pretty stomping success for DK last time they were on the Rift. Obviously, they had the day break or whatever, but this comp just feels right as rain for them. I'm really looking at the level of execution needed from Weibo. I think a couple of the combos really need to come together for them to make it work, and I need to see them on the same page, because that has been the biggest question levied toward Weibo over and over again, is can you get on the same page? And as we're going to be getting into the game here, Alk, we're going to be swap-a-rooning a little bit. I did have to go to get a medical procedure done today where they had to shove a camera down my throat, unfortunately, and I am it is not going well. Yep. And so we're going to have Alk play-by-play for this series. I'll be sitting here trying to get my big brainness out. I have officially color-casted Tier 1 back in the day in LPL English, the official LPL English. So, you know, we'll see if I can bring out the brain. But here in this one, it's going to be really interesting because I just want to see clean play from our LPL teams. I don't think I can say I've seen that one single time today.
That's not happening. It's Weibo versus DK.
Please,
There's no way there is going to be clean gameplay going on here. And for everybody at home, this does mean that with me play-by-playing, if it goes badly enough, Lennon might just take back the mic from me. So hopefully, by the end of the game...
You do great, buddy. You do great.
I think if I can get like a 6, I'm happy.
Yeah. I'm here for it. You got the rotating banners there to lead you onto the Rift here, too. I love that. It just says rotating.
Okay.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, yep. Okay. The Discord is dying, but it's only Discord. So for everybody at home...
Right. I can hear you.
We're going to be fine.
I think your Discord is dying.
Oh.
Which it's perfect timing when you're about to take over play-by-play. So, you know.
I can maybe catch every third syllable from you.
Oh, this is a great day. All right. Just do your thing, Al. We can still hear you.
All right. Well, for the time being, we're going to see a little bit of sparring between our two teams. I'm going to real quick hopefully change the Discord server and not get DDoSed. Oh, it's back, I think.
You can hear? Yes?
Yes!
You can hear? Yay,
I don't have to
we're
change
back.
anything. I don't have to change anything. God is
all
real.
All right.
Let's go. God Guo has permitted me to play this game.
I think that's pretty important.
Yeah. Seeing some trading here from ShowMaker. Does get the Electrocute proc down. Very important that ShowMaker is able to dictate this lane to his opponent, as Orianna, depending on the build that Xiaohu goes for, will be tanky enough to survive him as the game goes on.
And I think we always look to the early fluctuation of the jungle. I think that's going to be even more important here because, again, I just can't stop thinking about that first performance from Dplus KIA and how lethal Lucid was across the map against Shun, who obviously was contesting him across the way. So I really want to see what these first looks, these first moves from the junglers are going to be looking like.
Early vision does spot out Lucid. Was a problem, like you had mentioned in the first series that we got from Dplus KIA. And across the board, though, it seems like Dplus are playing with a lot more priority. Currently, it is a double range bottom lane. I think that we would probably give over the win in the 2v2 over to DK, but depends on how this keeps going. And Crisp already having to use his heal down in this lane. I think that's really, really strong. ShowMaker gets the Electrocute proc, almost kills Xiaohu. He's down to 100 HP. He has to just wait for a few more seconds on those cooldowns, and that might just be at least a summoner spell being lost by our mid lane.
And the problem with that is if ShowMaker has push advantage in the mid lane, which he probably will, it just leads out to the comp that DK are playing. And I think you have to be able to contest that mid wave or at least force ShowMaker to kind of stick around and be in there, because if you don't, then he's just going to run the map. He was not as effective on the LeBlanc the first series as well. We didn't see as much of a pop-off, but it was the other members of the team. But if he's ahead, I can imagine how easy it's going to be to execute this comp.
Seems like Tian is going to try to bail out his mid laner here. Just going to try and find it. This is a problem when you play against a LeBlanc, though. Every jungler can attest to this. This champion is notoriously difficult to lock down, especially with no
gonna go for the
crowd
kill.
Control. ShowMaker's trying to look for it. There's the electrocute, one more auto. It's trade, but it's going to be first blood going over to Dplus KIA.
Oh my gosh, what an absolute chat. Doesn't even care that he went down. Lucid's going to hold the wave here, and the TP from both mid laners is going to come back, so that's going to feel really good. But, like, the way that ShowMaker is throwing a wrench into the plans of Weibo here, forcing so much attention to the mid lane.
A big problem we have seen from Weibo in this entire season is that Xiaohu in lane, kind of a 50-50 player. Sometimes takes a little too much damage in the early game. Siwoo pretty low. His jungler is coming on through to this side of the map. Wonder if BeryL will be able to get one more knock up and another vicious bite before he can take him down. I
like that Siwoo is just playing with the range here, trying to utilize the shielding after every ability to get some trades back into breathe. But that does mean that I don't think that this mid lane gets any easier for Xiaohu. And no. I really, if that's not working, if you don't have this kind of combination, if you don't have Xiaohu on an even playing field with ShowMaker or the rest of the team against them, I think it's going to be so difficult to execute this comp. And I said that from the beginning of the draft, is that bar of execution has to be there for a team that has not reached it yet this tournament.
And we'll have to see if Tian can continue to be the janitor for this team. Can he do a little bit of the dirty work, be a mover, be a shaker here? ShowMaker already has level 6. He does double distortion, gets the chain as well as the electrocute. So Xiaohu is getting pummeled in this lane. He's going to have to take another reset. ShowMaker's going to match him just to keep up in terms of items, keep up in terms of resources. So small leads being gained by Dplus KIA, but not too much has gotten broken out because even topside's doing really fine for him. BeryL has opened up a small advantage for himself.
And I look at these comps, and especially with a tiny bit of an advantage, I think Dplus KIA would like to go ahead and try to get some of these objectives going for themselves. We do have both teams kind of centering around this bot side, as we're already getting Tian down here as well. A flash play coming through from aiming, trying to get a little bit flashy here. And I think that's a summoner spell they're going to want back, Alk.
Lennon, I'm pulling back the leash, brother. You got to let me play by play.
No.
I know you got to give it up. You got to give it up. Come on. Here, you gotta save your voice.
I'm being put in timeout, bro.
I know it hurts, and you wanna talk about our teams. You wanna see if Weibo can pull off the upset here, but not gonna be too much of a play going on forward for them. Just a little bit of a trade, and most importantly, getting that flash out from aiming.
We do see the dragon though is being surrounded right now. It actually had already gotten started up by Lucid. I wonder if they actually want to commit to this, or was it just the scuttle crab?
Observer, show me the bottom lane play. Tian is going forward. Oh, I think BeryL actually gets a solo kill here. Might be able to flash. Oh, he gets it right over. Still's going to be the public execution, but has to be careful if you're Siwoo. That ultimate from this Rek'Sai can be an execute.
He's actually still looking for it. We didn't even go look at the bot side fight. We have no idea what happened down there. It does look like nothing else was burned too much, but I think the pressure in the mid lane is still worrying for me, Alk, as we move forward. There is going to be the grubs coming up in about a minute, and we really look at those level 6s for both sides to be the unlocking factor. We will have that shockwave combo with a cease and desist coming through for Tian and Xiaohu, and that is the unlocking factor for me. It might not be at that first item spike just yet, but if they can find that combination, I think it's so powerful.
DK are the second ones to this reset. It is going to be aiming at BeryL just now getting back to base. So there's about a 5 to 6 second desync between our laners here. Wonder where this Xayah is going to end up walking towards. Is it just going to be going bottom lane? No, they're both heading up top. Kai'Sa's going to solo farm, and Crisp is going to try to gain priority for Weibo. Xiaohu can't even TP in. It doesn't seem like Weibo are going to make a play for these grubs.
I do wonder if they feel maybe a little hesitant with the pressure they've been put on, but we do have a couple extra bodies up on the top side for DK as well. Does look like as they do come up, it is going to be instantly started by Weibo.
All right. Weibo, they have a lot of buttons here. There's no ultimate here for Chris, but like you had mentioned, Xiaohu has the shockwave. It's a single grub. Weibo are going to pull off. Maybe they can find ShowMaker. Again, it's LeBlanc. Very notoriously difficult to get a lockdown onto.
Oh my god. Tian just loses like half his health in that mini trade. Oh.
Okay, Light's going to try to use A little bit of movement speed to walk forward, get some damage onto Siwoo. It's going to turn into 2 grubs going over to Dplus KIA, though.
And as it resets, it's always you gotta hold your tongue for a moment, at least waiting for that final calculation to come through. But that's gonna feel pretty good in the long run with the mini mites spawning as well. Ooh, ShowMaker.
Chris, we got to get to a minion wave, brother. We're down half a level versus the Lulu. What's going on here? Like the Pop Blossom is like the entire kit. No, breathe. Blade Caller does rip. Don't think it's going to turn into a kill. Not on this wave anyway. Plus, there is still that ultimate available for aiming, so Bree's going to be able to use some of that rage bar from Rek'Sai to heal back up.
And I know you have the play-by-play cap on, but I'm really interested at the lack of prio on the dragon here, because I do feel like, and while we see this dive coming through, something maybe we can talk about on the other side.
All right, public execution from Siwoo gets him the immunity. It is not enough. There's going to be a ultimate coming on through from Tian, but Light's going to be able to finish this one off. A kill for the Kaisa, a play onto the top side. Lucid trying to make something happen around Xiaohu and Breathe, but the solo laners of Weibo, they're going to stay resilient here in this one. And no dragon being started. It is a dragon being started up for Weibo, so at least Tian will be able to grab himself an objective.
Felt like a little hot potato going there from both sides of the map as both dives, both executed, and unfortunately nobody dies in the end. But we did a couple of summoner spells burned. As I think Tian getting this dragon maybe dissuade some of the conversation I was bringing up beforehand, but still something interestingly enough that I thought maybe DK would be able to go for is those dragon stackings. But that next dragon could be of utmost importance as well.
All right, so as we kind of creep into what would be considered like the mid-game portion of the game, how are we feeling about both teams' odds? We haven't really talked too much about scaling, but when we kind of look at these two, what do you think the fans at home should be expecting?
I mean, I definitely favor some of the damage coming out from Weibo in those concentric fights and the kind of team fights aspect, but here we go.
Chris, Pop Blossom lands. That's Siwoo just going down. Feats Warfare going on over to Weibo and a full-on wave. They might even get a large portion of the turret plates here if they want.
Yeah, I mean, he has TP, but it's going to be in 15 seconds, so very far away from getting that one off. And it's going to be a nice little bit of gold going over to Weibo, like 1.5 thousand gold lead right now with still some plates to go down. That's going to feel really good. But as we were saying, like, once that combination really starts coming to fruition, I think Weibo's composition becomes so powerful in its own right, but it's the little micro adjustments, the mechanical outplays that DK's comp succeeds in, right? Like, that's why you put ShowMaker on a LeBlanc. That's why you have Siwoo on his patented Mbessa at this point.
You say that, but he's down 30, and he's died twice now. This is almost 4 plates now going over to Light and Crisp. A very fed Kaisa could be the difference maker that Weibo do need. And while we haven't had too many nice things to say about Weibo's bot lane this year, Light and LPL Kaisas is one hell of a drug.
That's where you can always hedge your bets. It's on the LPL Kaisas. As unfortunately, I got to say, Breathe isn't having very much fun on that top side. He is getting visited.
Siwoo, oh my god, that is a W shielding. Here is the ultimate coming out from Breathe. They're trying to find aiming. Vaultbreaker follows the flash. Aiming, no ultimate, no flash. A barrier is left, but all of this ultimate, BeryL keeps him alive, and aiming is able to grab the kill onto Tian.
I am flabbergasted. It looks so good, Alk. He predicted the flash and everything.
They don't have enough damage. This is what happens. The Rek'Sai, maybe they had one more item. If maybe they were able to get a completion earlier here. Still a win, though, for Weibo on the other side of the map. It's a full turret being completed at 12.5 minutes. DK are going to see if they can try and find something on the other end, but this is an impossible matchup. And now Lucid is here. This is assuredly Breathe dying on this dive, and a turret going over to Dplus.
Cataclysm comes out too. Oh, man. That's just, that's a little bit of bad to worse there. The turret going down, a lot of gold, now shifting over to Dplus KIA. They were down, and now they find themselves about even, just a couple hundred gold up. And I think next, we already had those first item completions come across, but that's really upping the kind of skirmish potential between the teams. But, I mean, we are really looking at that kind of mid-game spike for both of them, honestly. The kind of 2-3 item spikes for them to really feel confident in these fights. And some objectives are going to be coming up before then.
Think about these 2 items for our AD carries, right? Like, you get Navori Flicker Blades for the Xayah, so she has uptime on all her spells. Then you get 2 items on Kai'Sa, and that's probably going to be a second evolve. All the gold going in kind of the right places here for both of our teams, and hopefully we get to see that duel between these 2 legendary AD carries in their own domestic regions. Obviously, Aiming has done a lot of great work back in the LCK, and Light in years past has been almost maybe an underrated marksman from the international perspectives.
I mean, if you think back to it, I know it's far gone after them losing in the regional qualifiers, but just a year ago, he was the guy. He was the man that helped take down Ruler and forced JDG not to go to internationals an entire year. That felt so bad. In the end, he is a guy that you can really hang your hat on for Weibo. Has been for a long time. See if he can rise above this time. Give LPL a little bit more happiness today. As I don't know if we can be happy after that second game.
Hey, wait a minute. You know, we won a series by any means possible here.
We did.
It's going to be DK, though, putting their bot lane duo with a little bit of damage in mid. We have 2 objectives spawning here for our Weibo team. Since we are the LPL English, do you have a bias? Do you want to see them go for the dragon, maybe go for a little bit stacking? Seems like
whatever isn't going to lose them the game.
Resources. Okay.
They're going to go for ShowMaker.
All right, he has flash. It is Crisp. He lands it. There we go. Killer Instinct to follow up, and a kill goes over to Light. 2-0, 3-0 on this Kai'Sa, and now it is going to be the start of the Rift Herald going over to Weibo Gaming.
And I love it because we talked about it the early game. We said we really want to see this reconnection to the bot lane. Light and Crisp have been so desynced as a bot lane duo, and we actually see them come through there. Now Weibo setting up the Rift.
Can they get in? I mean, it's super tough. Lucid trying to find something. It's a Cataclysm onto Light just to lock him down. And a completely whiffed command shockwave is issued by Xiaohu. Aiming, trying to get a Blade Caller. They're looking for an engage onto Chris. Remember, no ultimates for some of these members. An ultimate coming in from BeryL, the Wild Growth. Finally gives him enough HP. It is Crisp who will go down first. Tian sends it in with a cease and desist, and a follow-up from Lucid. Gets 2 knocked up. Weibo are trying to fight. Finally, Light goes down. ShowMaker dies again. And we're going to be able to see a trade, a 2 for 3 in favor of Dplus KIA.
Please tell me, look me straight in the eyes and tell me this Jarvan champion is not just absolutely good right now. Like, this is insanity. Like, you look at this setup, he just immediately pulls the trigger, misses everything. But so does Xiaohu, and the amount of impact he has in this follow-through here is actually so incredible. Like, he goes through, goes over the wall, buys so much time, and then even if he misses that initial engage because Tian knocks him back here, he still ends up finding the latent 2-man knock-through with Light and Xiaohu.
You see also Light just trying to get that kill onto Aiming. Very important that Weibo do find that. All in all, still a worthwhile trade. We're going to see Weibo try to re-enter into this fight. Kai'Sa with no Killer Instinct. Dragon is going to go over to Dplus KIA. Chris trying to protect the mid lane wave for his team.
They were able to find an evening of the Dragons, so that's going to feel pretty good. And you can tell that DK wanted to try to pick a fight in mid lane there, but we do have second items completed now for those carries, like we had mentioned earlier, something to keep an eye on. I think with the Guinsoo's Kraken Slayer Light will be very strong in a lot of these fights. That's going to be feeling really good for Weibo, as they do also pop the Rift Herald in mid.
This is a big win. A lot of gold to be spent potentially here for Weibo in the next few moments. Lucid goes down to half HP. A Cataclysm onto Crisp, trying to lock him in. It's a Killer Instinct to follow up from Light. But guess what? Still have the Wild Growth. Light's trying to find something. The Blade Caller from Aiming traps Light. No ability for him to find the play. And now Weibo try to collapse. Aiming. Ultimate is issued out. Gets away, but the ultimate coming in from Breathe. A knock-up from Crisp. They're trying everything from the side of Weibo just to make this play happen. Maybe it's a full-on ace. Dplus KIA are falling apart at the seams. Xiaohu flashes forward. Shockwave. It doesn't even matter. He finally gets it down with the command move.
You thought it was the circus, but then you showed up and it's Cirque du Soleil. It's actually majestic in the end. You got people and bodies flying everywhere, and somehow Weibo find the picks they needed. Really big play from BeryL there in the end as well to find the back end of that one. Tian's going to steal away some of the jungle as well too, and that actually is a little bit promising for Weibo, even though it was very scatterbrained across those fights.
The solo lanes here for Dplus KIA are starting to crumble. Like Siwoo 0-3-0 on his marquee champion of his debut year in Tier 1. And ShowMaker, we talked about the build going into the Orianna. He is 1-4.
It's so brutal. You take a look back at this one, like Lucid is just playing with his food. Somehow he still survives in the end, but the amount of resources that were used to make sure that this didn't go more chaotically for DK was what ended up biting them in the end, because you see the collapse coming through from Weibo, really beautifully set, and BeryL is actually doing so much damage, able to follow through as well and getting a lot of gold in his pockets.
I mean, the Void Rush, the fact that BeryL gets to join the fight first versus his opponents. A very strong showing here from Weibo. A lot of doubters, a lot of people were saying, okay, maybe this Weibo team is just cooked. Barely being able to win a 2-0 over GAM. A complete flop versus JDG last night. And now looking dominant versus Dplus KIA, who were expected favorites, not even just in tonight, but potentially for the entire tournament. Now it is Weibo taking down this bottom lane Tier 2. Siwoo trying to escape with a public execution. An ultimate is issued by Tian. The knockup is there. Chris finds 3 with the Pop Blossom. 2 members goes down for Dplus KIA. And now Weibo are trying to fight more in the base.
Bouncy Castle of Doom. That was an incredible series of events from Weibo, just able to layer that through. They were able to get the turret in the bot side too, so they open up the inhib. They're not going to take the inhib because it just hit 20 minutes. They will give over the outer tower in mid.
This is where the battle of the gold is going to come down. Wow, ShowMaker does absolutely no damage to this Vi. He's going to try to escape. That is his ultimate gone. Double distortion now no longer available. There it is, the Void Rush coming in. BeryL, he auto-attacks the clone. Can he find one more? He gets chained up. He gets rooted down. ShowMaker makes the great escape.
Breaking ankles left and right. ShowMaker actually able to do so much there and buy a lot of time, but the Adicon is going to be Weibo's.
Oh boy, can they make it on through? Lucid's on his way. There's a teleport potential here from Siwoo, but no public execution. The Otacon is almost assuredly Weibo's, but can they make their way out from this fight?
Gotta look at the angle here. They got a little bit of a flank setup. Lucid's waiting for his entrance.
Maybe Lucid's looking for something. The Tangle Barbs lands onto aiming. ShowMaker's going to pop his head forward. A single chain lands, but it's not enough. The ultimate lands onto BeryL. The shockwave stops only one. 3 members in the Cataclysm. Weibo are going to fight their way out of this one. A Pop Blossom lands onto aiming. Light's going to send himself back into the waiting arms of Weibo, but they win this fight. 2 kills going over to Light, and they're going to try to chase BeryL out of this one, but the Otacon and 4 kills going over to Weibo Gaming.
Aiming had him in his sights, had the entire team in his sights, but did not have the follow-through to finish the play, and Weibo come out the victors of that one. We're only 22 minutes in, and they're busting down the doors of Dplus KIA now. Got to say, this is a much better performance from Weibo, much cleaner, much more together, even with the chaos earlier. And we take a look back at this one. I mean, this was DK kind of surrounding them, but knowing that they didn't have the tools. The fact that Shockwave goes off right when BeryL is looking for the follow-through, it was only onto 1, but it still set up a lot of the damage for Weibo coming back into the fight. And the fact that BeryL barely survives.
That ultimate coming in from Chris, just on the very edge of being able to take him down. If maybe he thought he was going to have a little bit more time, a little bit more space, maybe aiming puts out the Feather Storm and is able to do a little bit more damage. And there it is.
There you go.
The Grasshopper flip-flopping Young Raz Jr. bringing us back here on the LPL. He's going to make a special guest appearance.
Bro, I know Raz is flying to China, but like,
over to Weibo.
I didn't think he left yet. I thought he was still at home.
You know, he did catch a flight. He's probably here for Worlds, considering it's about to start in a few days. So hopefully, I know some of the LTA teams have already made their way over. But this is a good game, and this is not a Weibo that we have seen for a long time here.
Yeah, it's a refreshing feeling for sure, but it's the problem is with Weibo is they've built up a lot of hesitancy in the community. So it's always like, okay, was this a fluke? Is this just a one-time affair? Is this only this time that Weibo looked good and proficient? That is always the question mark. But 3 items now is going to make that question mark kind of disappear for at least this game. And they have full control of the game so early on into it. Tian's even just looking for engages left and right. And that's what you can do with this combo now. And that's something I talked about, we talked about the entire time, is this mid-jungle duo will always be important to keep an eye on.
No way for Dplus KIA to really punish Crisp if he also wants to walk forward. Tian vault breakers himself into a really nice flank. How much more can they grab? Because remember, Kaisa is waiting 3 items here for Light. It's a vault breaker sent and an ultimate from Xiaohu deletes Lucid from the game. Amy's going to put down the ultimate. He's going to also do a blade caller. They can't even find Tian. Crisp knocks up 3. And Weibo knocked down 3 onto Dplus KIA. That's a Baron for free if they want it in 45.
Yeah, absolutely. They can take everything in the jungle as well on top of it. It is Weibo's world, and we're all just living in it. The Wombo combos have been so nice to see from them. I gotta give respect where it's due. I didn't trust the Rek'Sai. We had seen Rek'Sai in pro play a couple times. Sometimes it looks good, sometimes it looks really bad. Breed looking good.
Hell yeah. Do you want to apologize to the Rek'Sai now?
I do. Breathe, I apologize. I did not respect your game. I did not respect the Void. And they have a 2-piece Void set right now for playing TFT.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was disgusting. But we've seen this like a couple times now. Like if they layer up the CC chaining for Weibo, it is dastardly.
Yep. ShowMaker is going to get spotted here. Does have the wireframe thanks to having the Oracle lens. So we'll see that someone is in the red buff. Most likely just Tian. How do Weibo close this one out? It is an 8,000 gold lead, overwhelmingly in their favor, and Dplus KIA are going to have to fight through complete fog of war. There's that shockwave combo we set up throughout the game. Breeze sends themselves into the backline. Chris finds 2 with his Pop Blossom, and Light joins the rest of his team. He's going to flash forward. BeryL no longer available to be able to play this one. Oh my god, barely lives. Thank you, Redemption. Aiming's underneath his turret. He's going to be able to survive, but more of DK fall. Finally, the Baron going to be started here by Weibo.
They're finally going to take the Texan Bullworm. If you get that one, it's a throwback. But it is almost 10,000 gold lead for Weibo in this game, number 1. And you wonder, maybe a little bit of rust had gotten onto the joints of Dplus KIA in their day off. But in this 3rd day, Weibo looking like a completely different team, which feels really good. And now they have about a minute 15 until that next dragon comes up. Would be a Mountain Soul point for them, which I think is really nice in their compositional strength as well. They just get to kind of pull the trigger anytime anyone's a little bit too overextended for DK.
Dan just gets to play with complete impunity in this one. And now Xiaohu's completed a Seeker's Arm Guard. So if you thought it was tough already to kill a Rod of Ages and almost 4,000 HP or 3,000 HP Orianna, it's going to get even tougher for the side of DK, the LCK representatives. Only a single series, so they're 2-0 here in ASI. And it seems like Weibo is going to hand them their first loss. And also the LCK's first loss at the Asia Invitational.
Yeah, it should be something to be proud of for the LPLers out here.
Or I guess the first loss versus the LPL, because I made a joke that only the LCK can beat the LCK here at ASI. But all right, let's see how this ends up going. They're pushing on 2 waves. A Guardian Angel also here for Tian, so his life can be a little bit more, you can play with his HP bar a little bit more. There is Lucid again with an ultimate. All this set up onto Light, but not even able to break him to half HP. Siwoo is going to go down. Baron's still at their backs. Weibo are going to look to try to take down an inhibitor turret. It'll be 1. Lucid gets followed upon. The Prey Seeker alongside those missiles are going to make sure that DK cannot win this one out. Another kill is going to go over to Weibo Gaming. And there it is. Weibo are going to find a win here in game number 1 of this series. In the last one for Weibo, look to put them up at 1-0.
Yeah, strong start to this series for them. Amy's going to do a little bit of extra gameplay on the back end of it, but the Nexus turrets are the focus for Weibo. You'll take down the last one, take down this Nexus, but a beautiful performance from Weibo. Almost 12 kill game from Light as well. The ADC diff was big this time, Alk.
Yeah, who is there? Just real quickly, like MVP votes, I feel like a lot of people are probably going to be split. Breathe had a large portion of this game. Light obviously was getting a lot of access to kills throughout this entirety of the game. And kind of a rough look for the solo laners here of Dplus.
Yeah, a little bit tough. The setup was never there, even though with some of those early skirmishes you were thinking maybe something happens. Maybe they actually find a little bit of promise there, but as soon as those solo lanes were down like 0-7 or whatever, or at least 7 deaths, I think that's going to be a little bit tough when your comp really thrives from ahead. And I just got to give a shout out to Lucid. Even when they were struggling, still looked good on the Jarvan. A couple things he wants back for sure, but Weibo just looked like the better team.
I mean, he just didn't have like any damage. Like his solo laners are completely useless this game. Outside of the single solo kill we saw from ShowMaker, he was invisible on the LeBlanc yet again. We talked about it in their last series when we were kind of praising him for this champion. Didn't have to pull too much considering Lucid was absolutely smurfing on the Lee Sin. And this is a little bit more of the DK that I'm familiar with from watching them towards the end of this year in the season for LCK. ShowMaker kind of took a dip in performance and had to really rely on the rest of his team to bring them over the finish line.
Gotta say 0% KP for Siwoo is a little toughy for sure, but it was just a tough game overall for them. See if they can bounce back for that next game, because this is a team that on their first day they did look unstoppable, but it was just one day out of all the ones they have to play, obviously today and tomorrow.
Also, it was against JDG, who we have very, very frequently made some comments as to whether the veracity of whether or not that team is good or not. So for everyone at home, you can have your own opinions. Again, share them in the Twitch chat if you want. I'm sure someone will argue with you, even if DBT's in chat. But for the most part, like you had mentioned, even though Lucid was looking like, even this ultimate, he traps Chris, but where's the damage dealers? BeryL's not hitting. He's a Lulu. Aiming's not really doing much here. I feel like there was a little bit of a disconnect between where Jarvan wanted to be and where the rest of his team necessarily were.
Yeah, you got to be kind of point and present when you have a comp like this, when it really needs to have those combos come together. This was kind of the beginning of the end to some extent for Weibo in terms of positivity, because Breathe was just finding so much impact there. But then after this is where we saw the Wombo combos just start to get layered so well.
Yeah, pretty tough. I don't know. Like, this one probably
right
the
here.
most. Yeah, this was very disgusting. I mean, we got to see a Weibo that actually worked together. Chris was landing some amazing pop blossoms, which I did not expect myself to say tonight, considering the state of this bottom lane. A large kind of a rumor that was popping up at the end of the offseason last year was Light basically going to management and saying, it's either me or Chris. I'm not playing with this guy for a 3rd year in a row. And then halfway through the season,
back.
Weibo management said, you are playing with him for a 3rd year in a row. You will be playing this last split with this guy.
It's so funny how things boiled down, because he did leave. He did, and then he came back. And then, you know, we have to think about the fluctuation in the roster itself. This is where it was so dang close for DK, and then it wasn't. And there was another continuation of that kind of Wombo combo stuff. So, honestly, I want to see Weibo draft another comp like this if they can.
Sure. Just whether or not they actually will have the ability to. Remember, Kai'Sa's no longer available to this team. Some pretty useless champions taken out, though. Like Rek'Sai, probably not going to get too much value in a long series, even if it is just a best of 3. You did get Nico, so I wonder how that's going to change some of the flavor of the rest of the draft. Is there any champions in particular that you're kind of look forward to?
I would love to see the Rumble come back into fold, but I don't know if we're actually going to get that one here. It
That
wasn't
guy's
banned away,
perma-banned.
but was it banned? Was it? It might be. I know it was banned in the previous series. The Nico is the MVP here, so Light doesn't get it. I think Light maybe deserved it there, but it'll be the Nico setup for Chris.
You were right. He wasn't banned this game, but Chris did have some pretty big impacts in this game. But yeah, either could have been Light. I think if you're like really trying to be sneaky, I really love Bree. 5 out of 5. All right, Chris getting some hometown credit here. that's gonna be it for us here, at least for game number 1. We're gonna kick it to a short break before we get back into game number 2 between Dplus KIA and Weibo. Can we see a comeback here for our LCK representatives, or are Weibo gonna shut them out with a 2-0? We don't want to miss it.